Social media has become an integral part of modern life, providing people with the ability to connect, share, and communicate across the globe. Platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok allow users to showcase moments of their lives, engage with others, and express their opinions. However, beneath the surface of these benefits lies a dark side that continues to grow in intensity: blackmail and sextortion. Scammers have taken advantage of the open and often anonymous nature of social media to exploit and manipulate unsuspecting users. One of the most sinister forms of this exploitation is sextortion, where victims are blackmailed using their personal content, often leading to emotional and financial devastation. Sextortion is a form of online blackmail where an individual is coerced into providing explicit images or videos, which are then used against them for financial or emotional gain. The scammer, who might pose as a romantic partner or an admirer, manipulates the victim into engaging in explicit acts, which are recorded either through fake video calls or hacked accounts. Once the material is obtained, the blackmailer threatens to release it publicly, share it with the victim's family or friends, or spread it across social media unless a ransom is paid. In many cases, victims are lured in by what seems to be a legitimate romantic interest. Scammers often create fake profiles, using attractive pictures and convincing backstories to gain trust. As the online relationship deepens, the scammer might request a video call, during which they record intimate moments without the victim's knowledge. This manipulation often occurs gradually, starting with harmless conversations and moving into more personal and private exchanges. Once the scammer has enough compromising material, the blackmail begins. What makes sextortion particularly terrifying is the level of emotional control the scammer gains over the victim. The threat of exposing intimate content can have a paralyzing effect, causing immense psychological distress. Victims may feel ashamed, embarrassed, or afraid to seek help, fearing judgment from others or social ostracism. This emotional manipulation often traps them in a cycle of exploitation, where they continue to meet the demands of the scammer in the hopes of avoiding exposure.
Social media plays a significant role in facilitating sextortion. The sheer scale of users on platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat provides an almost endless pool of potential victims. Scammers can easily create fake profiles, impersonate others, or hack into accounts to carry out their schemes. Social media platforms are designed for connection, but this very purpose makes them ripe for exploitation by those with malicious intent. One of the most common methods used by sextortionists is impersonation. A scammer might create a fake profile, complete with photos and posts to appear legitimate. They send friend requests or follow unsuspecting users, usually targeting individuals who seem vulnerable or isolated. After establishing a rapport, the scammer manipulates the victim into sharing explicit photos or participating in a video call. Fake video calls have become a particularly insidious tactic in sextortion schemes. Scammers may use pre-recorded videos of attractive individuals or real-time editing software to convince victims they are engaging with someone genuine. Once the victim participates in a private or explicit conversations, the scammer captures the content and begins the process of blackmail. This tactic is highly effective because it preys on the victim's belief that they are interacting with someone they trust, only to realize too late that they have been deceived. Hacking is another method employed by sextortionists. If a scammer can gain access to a victim's social media accounts, they can retrieve private messages, photos, and videos that can be used as leverage. Hackers may even control the victim's account, using it to contact their friends, or family with threats of exposure. The emotional toll of sextortion is profound, often leading to feelings of shame, guilt, and anxiety. Victims may feel trapped, believing they have no way out of the situation without suffering personal or social consequences. Many individuals who fall victim to sextortion experience a deep sense of isolation, afraid to seek help for fear of further humiliation. One of the most damaging aspects of sextortion is the manipulation of the victim's emotions. Scammers often exploit vulnerabilities such as loneliness, insecurity, or a desire for connection to gain control. Once they have established this emotional bond, they twist it into a tool for exploitation. The victim may feel betrayed, confused, and ashamed for having trusted the wrong person. This emotional exploitation can have long-lasting effects, leading to depression, anxiety, and in extreme cases, suicidal thoughts. Victims are often caught in a vicious cycle of compliance, where they continue to meet the demands of the scammer in the hopes that the blackmail will stop. However, appeasing the blackmailer rarely resolves the situation. In many cases, the demands for money or additional explicit content only increase, further entrenching the victim in a web of control and fear. The longer the blackmail continues, the more damage is done to the victim's emotional and psychological well-being. While the emotional toll of sextortion is devastating, the financial aspect is equally alarming. Scammers often demand large sums of money from their victims, threatening to release explicit content unless they are paid. In some cases, victims are forced to empty their savings, take out loans, or sell personal belongings to meet the scammer's demands. The financial exploitation can be especially damaging for younger victims, such as teenagers or young adults, who may not have the resources to pay the ransom. For these individuals, the threat of exposure looms large, often leading them to take desperate measures to try and stop the blackmail. Unfortunately, paying the scammer rarely results in an end to the harassment. In many cases, the blackmailer will continue to demand more money, knowing that the victim is now in a vulnerable and desperate position. What makes the financial aspect of sextortion particularly cruel is that scammers often target victims who are already vulnerable. They prey on individuals who may be experiencing financial difficulties or emotional distress, using these weaknesses to exploit them further. The combination of emotional manipulation and financial demands creates a deeply harmful situation, where the victim feels powerless to escape. As technology advances, so do the tactics used by sextortionists. With the rise of deepfakes, scammers now have the ability to create highly convincing fake videos employers are engineering and those the people, profits, or defensive and the SE prices. Scammers now have the ability to create highly convincing and images, making it even harder for victims to discern what is real and what is manipulated. Deepfake technology allows scammers to superimpose a victim's face onto explicit content, creating a video or image that appears genuine but is entirely fabricated. This new frontier of sextortion is particularly concerning because it opens up the possibility for even greater exploitation. Victim may be blackmailed with fake content that they never participated in, yet the threat of exposure is just as real. The emotional and psychological impact of being accused of something one did not do can be as devastating as the blackmail itself. Furthermore, the global nature of social media means that scammers can operate from anywhere in the world, making it difficult for law enforcement to track them down. Many sextortionists operate from countries with lax regulations on cybercrime, using anonymity and distance to evade capture. This international element adds another layer of complexity to the problem, making it harder for victims to find justice or recourse. While sextortion is a growing threat, there are steps individuals can take to protect themselves from falling victim to these schemes. Awareness is the first line of defense. Understanding the tactics used by sextortionists and being cautious about who you interact with online can help prevent exploitation. It is essential to verify the identity of anyone you engage with on social media, especially if the conversation turns personal or intimate. Avoid sharing explicit content. or engaging in private video calls with individuals you have not met in person. Once explicit material is shared, it is challenging to control where it ends up, making it easier for scammers to exploit you. Be cautious about what you post on social media, as even seemingly harmless content can be used by scammers to build a profile of you.
In the event that you are targeted by a sextortionist, it is crucial to remain calm and not give in to their demands. Contact law enforcement and report the scammer to the social media platform. Many platforms have policies in place to handle cases of sextortion, and taking swift action can help mitigate the damage. Most importantly, do not be afraid to seek help from trusted friends or family members. Emotional support can be invaluable in navigating the psychological toll of sextortion. Sextortion and blackmail via social media are growing problems in the digital age, affecting countless individuals around the world. The combination of emotional exploitation, financial extortion, and the fear of exposure creates a deeply harmful experience for victims. As social media continues to evolve, so too do the tactics used by scammers, making it essential for users to remain vigilant and informed. Addressing the issue of sextortion requires a collective effort from individuals, social media platforms, and law enforcement agencies. Increased awareness, better reporting mechanisms, and stronger regulations are needed to combat this form of online blackmail effectively. Until then, it is vital for users to protect themselves, be cautious in their online interactions, and seek help if they fall victim to these schemes.